Welcome to the Den, the Dark Entertainment Network. I'm the Gothic Rose, and this is the dark tale of the day. Welcome back, dear fiends of the Den. As you know, the Dark Entertainment Network is a channel where the news meets conspiracy theories, makes babies in my brain, and it comes out my mouth. If you like this type of content, please like, subscribe, and hit that bell, and meet me in the Den. Hello, dear fiends of the Den. We are back with the iconic Charlie Chaplin, the most well known actor of silent films in the United States. But he is not without his scandals, and these scandals are going to take a while to get through. So let's jump in. And this is kind of a haunted hot mess of Hollywood history right here with Charlie Chaplin. Let's try not to get burned. So, dear fiends, I had to do my research and I type in Charlie Chaplin's scandals. And it comes up and says to me here Charlie Chaplin, despite his legendary status in cinema, had a personal life filled with controversies. Some of the most notable scandals include ugly divorces. Chaplin went through two highly publicized divorces. His first wife, Mildred Harris, accused him of mental abuse, while his second wife, Leda Gray, alleged infidelity. And then we get to relationships with young women. Chaplin had a pattern of marrying much younger women. He married Harris when she was 16 and Gray when she was 15. His relationship with Gray was kept secret to avoid legal troubles. Charlie Chaplin's last appearance in films was the film Modern Times. That was in 1936. And by this time, Charlie Chaplin was involved in one of the most scandalous Hollywood divorces of all time from Leda Gray. So the details of their marriage and their separation were highly publicized, and this is largely because of the shocking allegations that Leda Gray made against Charlie Chaplin. So Leda Gray was 16 years old when she married Chaplin and alleged that he had seduced her as a minor and pressured her to have an abortion when she became pregnant. The divorce papers, spanning 50 pages, contained claims of cruel and inhumane treatment, including Chaplin's alleged demand for degrading sexual acts. So this case was so sensational that Chaplin's $16 million estate was frozen during the proceedings. Ultimately, Leda Gray received a record-breaking settlement of $825,000, making it one of the most expensive divorces in Hollywood history at that time. And the intense media coverage and salacious details tarnished Chaplin's reputation through his continued career. And he did have a continued successful career with his fans. And of course, I'm sure men did not care, but it really did affect him, and it affected his later relationships. According to history.com, this particular article, titled Charlie Chaplin Marries Una O'Neill, it was published originally November 13th, 2009, and last updated January 30th, 2025. And it reads, Una O'Neill, the daughter of the famed playwright Eugene O'Neill, is an 18-year-old freshly minted high school graduate and fledgling actress when she marries 54-year-old Charlie Chaplin, the internationally renowned actor, filmmaker, and Hollywood legend, on June 16th, 1943, in Santa Barbara, California. So that in and of itself is, as we say today, highly problematic. His other scandals include a paternity suit with a woman named Joan Barry, who accused Charlie Chaplin of fathering her child. And despite these blood tests suggesting otherwise, Charlie Chaplin was ordered to pay child support. And this was a sensational legal battle in the 1940s. So Joan Barry was an aspiring actress, and she accused Chaplin of fathering her child, Carol Ann. And the blood test proved otherwise, but because this case was so highly publicized, Chaplin was ordered to pay child support regardless of the scientific evidence. This lawsuit played a role in shaping paternity laws in the US because that just sounds absolutely insane. Everyone deserves their own protections under the law. But if you saw my live stream theory that Charlie Chaplin was the one who threw his mentor Fatty Arbuckle under the bus, maybe this was karma. And that's what happens here on the Dark Entertainment Network. It can go wherever my brain goes, and that's where it just went. So, as we know, especially when it comes to child support, sometimes in many states, the hospitals give paternity tests immediately so that you can determine who's supporting this child. This happens in the South a lot. I learned this in Savannah, Georgia. I actually never knew about that before, but I thought I would pass along that little bit of information to you. But Charlie Chaplin's paternity suit changed paternity laws in the US. It had such a significant impact because at the time, only blood tests were used to determine paternity. There was no DNA. But as you know, blood types have to match. Well, these blood tests showed that Charlie Chaplin was not the father of Carol Ann, Joan Barry's child. But for some reason, the courts still ruled against him and ordered him to pay Joan Barry child support. So this case highlighted the limitations of paternity testing, and at the time, it led to discussions about the reliability of scientific evidence in legal discussions. It also contributed to the eventual establishment of more standardized genetic testing for paternity cases, ensuring that future rulings were based on more definitive biological evidence. And this was a landmark case that shaped how courts approached paternity disputes. So that's really interesting because, like I said, if this was sort of, his karma, being accused of something and being forced to pay child support for a child that is not yours, although the court says otherwise, that just blows my mind that the court at that time would not follow scientific evidence. So, as amazing as Charlie Chaplin was on screen, off screen, he had lots of trouble, some of his own making, and we will get into more of his scandals tomorrow because he just went so far at one point that he was exiled from the United States. So I just find it interesting that he was born in Britain, he came to the United States, he made history in films, but he still took so much advantage of such young women at the time that it really does mar his reputation. If you look at it now, you look at him differently. So with all of Charlie Chaplin's vision, he did choose to take advantage of young women. So you tell me, dear fiends of the den, what I have told you so far, does this change your vision of Charlie Chaplin as a genius and an innovator in film? Are you able to separate the two? Because there are so many more skeletons in Charlie Chaplin's closet. Tune in tomorrow when I tell you what he did to be exiled from the United States, only to be given an honorary Oscar in 1976. If you have any tips to share with me or you'd like to be a guest in the den, please email me at welcometothedenpodcast@gmail.com. Must be 21 or over to be a guest. And again, thank you so much to everyone who is part of the den and meets me here every day. If you like this content, please let me know. Give me a shout out. Share the videos, like, subscribe, and hit that bell. Again, thank you for joining me in the den.